upon the dust of the Rimac, where the Andean shadows descend to kiss the colonial stone. A miracle began to exhale, not in the roar of thunder, but in the quiet unfolding of a petaled Isabel, whose name was a promise of God's abundance. Shed the earthly identity to become the very bloom that the angels tend in the celestial parterre. You are the rose that does not wither under the equatorial sun, the blossom that found its water in the well of divine thirst, transforming the dry soil of Lima into a sanctuary of olfactive prayer. The air of the city became heavy with a scent that no merchant could bottle, a nard of sanctity that rose from the hidden garden where the soul met its spouse in the silence of the noontide heat. Beneath the garland of silk and velvet that the world admired, you wore a crown of hidden silver thorns, pressing the reality of the passion into the very marrow of your brow, so that every thought might be a sacrifice of fragrance. You understood that to be the rose of heaven, one must first be the rose of the cross, bleeding sweetness where the world expects only the bitterness of the wound. Your mortifications were not of iron and stone alone, but of a heart that burned so fiercely it turned the surrounding air into a garden of perpetual spring. The hummingbirds of Peru stood still in the air, suspended by the magnetism of your grace, witnessing a beauty that did not seek the gaze of men, but the smile of the King who walks in the cool of the evening. Oh, fragrant rose, your petals are the prayers of the poor and the marginalized, whom you served with hands that smelled of earth and heaven. In the small cell of your retreat, the walls expanded until they touched the boundaries of paradise, and the scent of your devotion bypassed the incense of the cathedrals to reach the very throne of the Lamb. It is a feast of the senses turned inward, an invitation to breathe in the oxygen of the Spirit. We do not merely remember a maiden of old, we inhale the living presence of a love that chose to be crushed so that its essence might fill the entire world. The wind that blows from the peaks of the Cordillera carries the echo of your yes, a soft floral vibration that resonates through the corridors of time. Let the bells of the feast day ring not with metal, but with the resonance of 1,000 opening buds. In the digital tapestry of the modern age, where images flicker and fade, your fragrance remains an unalterable constant, a digital halo that persists through the noise. You are the explorer of the interior heights, the pioneer of the soul's secret valleys, showing us that the most profound journey is not across the oceans, but into the heart of the beloved. The sky of Lima is painted with the blush of your name, and the stars themselves seem to drop like white petals upon the altars of the world. Holy Rose, let us find the scent of your humility in the midst of our pride. are brown with neglect. May the memory of your water, clear devotion, descend like a mist. You are the bloom that survived the winter of the flesh to find the eternal summer of the word. May our lives become a liturgy of fragrance, a slow burning incense of charity that rises from the streets we walk, just as yours rose from the cobblestones of your city. For in the kingdom of the fragrant rose, every thorn is a promise of glory, and every drop of dew is a diamond reflecting the light of the sun that never sets. As the feast day dawns, the heavens open their censers, and the aroma of your holiness floods the valleys of the earth. We do not seek you in the withered pages of history, but in the living garden of the present, where the soul still yearns to be a flower in the hand of the Creator. You teach us that the most beautiful thing a human can be is a vessel of divine perfume, a living rose that spends itself entirely until nothing remains but the sweetness of the name. From the heights of the celestial Lima, look down upon the pilgrims who wander through the thorns, and guide us by the scent of your garment to the place where the roses never die, and the fragrance of God is the only air we breathe. Upon the emerald crest of Algestro, where the silence of the flint meets the ancient breath of the holm oak, a light more piercing than the noonday sun carved its path through the mundane azure of May. It was not the jagged anger of a storm's electric tongue, but a cataract of uncreated fire, a liquid crystalline brilliance that washed over the three small shadows of Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta. This was the inaugural tremor of a celestial symphony, a visual hymn that found its first notes in the terrified yet transfixed hearts of shepherds. The Covida Iria, once a mere fold of earth for wandering flocks, became the navel of the world, an altar where the sky bent low to kiss the dust of Portugal. There she stood, clad in a mantle of whitest wool, woven with the threads of eternity, her feet resting lightly upon the gossamer breath of the tree's crown, her presence between the ticking clocks of men and the timeless pulse of the divine. She carried the weight of the world's sorrows within the hollow of her immaculate heart, yet her countenance was a testament to a peace that surpasses the understanding of keys. Her hands joined in a perennial gesture of supplication, clutched a chain of stellar pearls, the rosary, that rhythmic ladder of orisons designed to climb the steep cliffs of human frailty. Each bead was a drop of dew, destined to extinguish the fires of war. Each decade a battalion of roses marched against the encroaching shadows of a century that would soon learn the cold geometry of iron and ash. She spoke not in the thunder of Sinai, but in the soft melodic cadence of a mother who knows the secrets of the future, warning of a second darkness while pointing toward the morning star of conversion. The air around her was saturated with the fragrance of unseen lilies, a perfume that defied the arid landscape and whispered of a garden where the thorns of sin had been forever pruned by the shears of grace. Now, as the calendar of the faithful turns its pages toward the 13th of May, in the year 2026, the bells of the world begin to stir in a collective, bronze-throated anticipation. The distance between the 1900th year of her first visitation and this coming spring is collapsed by the persistence of her promise. We stand in the nave of history, watching the stained glass of our era catch the same light that once dazzled the eyes of the children. The crown we offer her is not merely one of beaten gold and stolen gems, but a diadem of collective sighs, a coronation of the broken who have found healing in the shadow of her white veil. The hymns we compose are the echoes of her own Magnificat, recalibrated for a digital age that still hungers for the analog truth of the Spirit. We sing to the Lady of the Rosary, the Queen of Peace, who stands at the crossroads of our anxieties, her fingers still tracing the beads that weave the safety net of the world. Let the music swell in the vast cathedrals and the humble chapels alike, a tidal wave of merry and devotion that surges from the shores of the Atlantic to the farthest reaches of the human heart. Let the roses of Fatima be cast upon the waters of our troubled time, their petals carrying the scent of a hope that refuses to wither. We remember the miracle of the sun, the terrifying dance of the celestial disk that proved the heavens are not indifferent to our plight. And we ask for a similar movement in our own frozen souls. May the 13 days of May be a corridor of light, leading us back to the source of all harmony, where the Queen of Fatima awaits with her arms open like the gates of a sanctuary. In 2026, the message remains as urgent as the first flash of lightning over the home oak, a call to penance, a plea for prayer, and the unwavering assurance that in the end, the white mantle of her love will cover the entirety of our wounded earth, turning our dirges into a timeless hymn of restoration.
The digital flicker fades as the heavy bronze of Mediolanum swings upon the hinges of the soul. And the static of the modern street is drowned by the rhythmic pulse of a heart tuned to the ancient meters of the morning. Here in the brief space between the scrolling thumb and the eternal eye, we encounter the governor who became the shepherd, not by the will of the flesh, but by the sudden cry of a child echoing through the basilica like a divine decree. You seek power in the thunder of the forum, but find it instead in the stillness of a man who stood before the purple of the empire and forbade the threshold to a bloodied Caesar until the crown bowed lower than the cross. This is the wisdom that does not trickle from the parched lips of the sophist, but flows like the golden abundance of a celestial hive. where the bees of the Spirit deposited their nectar upon the infant mouth of a sleeping saint. We walk through the architecture of the sentences, where every stone is a syllogism and every window is a hymn, designed to catch the first light of the eternal rerun. Conditor before the world wakes to its toil.
There is a way to this tribute that defies the lightness of the screen,
as we navigate the corridors of his rhetoric, where the law of the land was transmuted into the liturgy of the Lamb. He did not merely speak of the light, he fashioned the very lamps that hold it through the antiphonal chanting of 1,000 voices, rising in a single tide to wash away the dry dust of Aryan shadows. Witness the power that commanded the earth to yield the hidden bones of martyrs, so that the foundations of our faith might be bolstered by the crimson testimony of the soil itself. His wisdom was a sharp blade wrapped in silk, a gentle hand that guided the restless mind of the African rhetorician, from the labyrinth of the Manichees to the clarity of the Milanese font, where the waters of rebirth still the storms of a wandering heart. We are the heirs to that quiet intensity, the beneficiaries, man who understood that the true defense of the city lies not in its walls, but in the sanctity of its hymns and the unyielding posture of its bishop. In this fleeting moment of devotion, the YouTube horizon collapses, and the hashtags of the world are silenced by the gravity of the mitre and the staff. We explore not a map of dead geography, but a topography of the inner life, where the honeycomb of the word is tasted in the silence of the cell. Ambrose speaks across the chasm of the centuries, telling us that the emperor is within the church, not above it, and that the power of the believer is found in the bended knee rather than the clenched fist. His legacy is the fragrance of the sanctuary and the structure of the prayer that holds the dawn in its hands, preventing the darkness from reclaiming the world. We pause in this digital atrium to feel the vibration of the Ambrosian chant moving through the marrow of our bones, a brief but monumental encounter with the architect of the Western spirit, who knew that to lead men, one must first be led by the word. The tribute is short, but the resonance is infinite, as we breathe in the incense of his courage and the honey of his grace. It is a call to the deep, to the hidden places, where the wisdom of the ages waits to be rediscovered by those who tire of the shallow currents of the day. As the video concludes and the pixels rearrange themselves into the next distraction, the image of the bishop remains etched upon the retina of the spirit, a sentinel of the sacred, a master of the melody, and a father to all who seek the power that is perfected in humility. May the nectar of his eloquence soften the hardness of our speech, and may the iron of his resolve fortify the weakness of our will, as we step back into the world, carrying the quiet fire of Milan within the sanctuary of our own private silence. The sanctuary amber glows with the residue of a day spent in devotion. where the scent of beeswax mingles with the damp coats of those who gather in the 7 o'clock gloaming. We are the Sunday night remnant, the tired lungs and the earnest hearts standing on the precipice of the great coming, while the city hums its indifferent anthem beyond these stone walls. Here, the score rests on music stands like white birds awaiting flight, carrying the weight of Michael's melody and the ancient dust of the Judean wild. It is a summons that begins in the diaphragm and ends in the stars, a visceral vibration of comfort whispered first by the wind through the cedar branches, and now amplified by the collective breath of a choir that knows the exhaustion of the world. We lean into the cadence, our voices weaving a tapestry of longing that stretches back to the Babylonian exile and forward to the morning star that has not yet risen above the horizon of our waiting. Beneath the vaulted ceiling, the command resonates to make straight a highway in the arid wastes of our own indifference, to soar down the peaks of pride and lift the sunken trenches of our despair. We sing of topography turned holy, of tectonic shifts in the spirit, where the rugged terrain of a broken life is planed smooth by a grace we cannot manufacture. The flute traces a line like a swallow over a dry creek bed, and we follow its ascent, mindful that our flesh is but grass and our constancy like the wild flowers of the meadow that succumb to the first sharp frost. Yet, as the ink on the page catches the dimming light, we affirm that the word of our God is the only architecture that does not crumble, the only foundation that remains when the echoes of our Sunday evening service have dissolved into the quiet of the coming week. We are the heralds of a wilderness that is not a place of desolation, but a laboratory of the soul, where the silence is finally loud enough to hear the approaching footsteps of the one who comes to govern with a strong arm and a shepherd's heart. How tenderly the melody cradles the promise of the lambs gathered into a divine embrace, held close to the chest of the infinite, where the shivering stops and the journey finds its rest. Our harmonies are the bandages we wrap around each other's wounds, a polyphonic balm that declares the warfare is ended and the iniquity is pardoned by a double measure of mercy. In the 7 p.m. stillness, we are no longer just accountants, teachers, or laborers, but conduits of an ancient prophecy that demands a highway be carved through the stone of our stubbornness. We feel the pull of the rhythm, a gentle but insistent thrumming that mimics the heartbeat of an expectant mother, the rhythmic labor of a world groaning for its deliverance. Each note is a stone laid in the path, each rest a moment of breathless anticipation, as we prepare the way for the glory that shall be revealed to all flesh together. A vision so blindingly beautiful, it requires the dimness of this late hour to be even partially understood. The shadows grow long in the nave, stretching out like the vast plains of the Arava, and we lift our eyes to the heights of Zion, where the messenger stands with a voice that must not falter. We bid our fear depart into the darkness of the vestibule, for the Lord God comes with power, not to crush but to nourish, leading the nursing muse with a patience that outlasts our shortest days and longest nights. Our choir is a small flame in the Advent frost, a flickering testimony that the desert will bloom and the parched land will bubble with springs of living water. As the final chords hang in the air, vibrating against the stained glass and the wooden pews, we carry the desert within us, but a desert that has heard the news of its own transformation. We walk out into the Sunday night, the melody still humming in our marrow, certain that the voice which cried out in the wilderness is now the voice that guides us home through the cold, toward the warmth of a stable that will soon contain the fullness of the Word made flesh. The mountains may smoke and the hills may depart, but the resonance of this evening stays rooted in the furrowed ground of our communal song. We've seen the glory in the ink and heard the herald in the alto sigh. And though the grass withers under the weight of the coming winter, the song we practiced at 7 p.m. is an evergreen vine climbing toward the light. We are the voice in the desert, not because we are loud, but because we are hollowed out to let the Spirit blow through us like a flute of bone, calling the scattered people to a feast that has been prepared since the foundation of the world. In the silence of the walk to the parking lot, the Isaiah 40 promise lingers like a fragrance, a reminder that every valley of our week is already being filled by the God who measures the heavens with a span and carries the broken in his bosom. The shadows stretch their long velvet fingers across the nave as the day surrenders its final amber glow to the stained glass. Here, in the hollowed quiet of 7 o'clock, the air carries a specific weight, a mixture of the week's gathered weariness and the sudden, sharp clarity of the Sabbath's end. We stand not as individuals, but as a singular organism of breath and intent, our sheet music fluttering like white wings in the dimming light. There is a sacred geometry in the way we align, the sopranos casting their silver threads toward the rafters, the altos weaving a tapestry of warm mahogany beneath, while the tenors search for the golden marrow of the melody, and the basses provide the subterranean bedrock upon which this entire invisible cathedral is built. It is the hour of the Sunday evening choir, a time when the world outside prepares for the machinery of Monday. Yet here we remain, suspended in the amber of a Darlene Zetschek doxology, reimagined through the prism of 4-part harmony. Listen to the intake of breath, a collective gasp that precedes the first chord. It is the sound of lungs filling with the very spirit we are about to summon. When the first note breaks the silence, it does not merely occupy the room. It carves a path through the heavy atmosphere of the evening. My Jesus, my Savior, the words rise not as a casual greeting, but as a desperate, loving recognition. The sopranos soar into the stratosphere of the sanctuary, their voices shimmering with a crystalline purity that speaks of heights we can only imagine, while the altos anchor the sentiment in the rich, fertile soil of human experience. This is the SATB legacy, a conversation between the heights and the depths, a sonic built of muscle and prayer. We are singing a song that has circled the globe, yet in this specific twilight,